Hi, friends. I'm Katie.
And I'm Lauren, and welcome to Okay, But Did You Know? A podcast where we talk about the TV and media that we love with a friend who's never seen it before.
Today, we're recapping and chatting about Bob's Burgers Season 8, Episode 12, The Hurt Soccer, and Episode 13, Cheer Up Sleepy Jean. But we always start off with a synopsis, so here is Episode 12, The Hurt Soccer. Bob and Louise are excited for the Supreme Extreme Champions Marathon, but they get a phone call about Louise's soccer match. Only Louise didn't know she was a part of a soccer team after Bob and Linda mistakenly signed her up. Bob and Tina take Louise to her match, and Bob ends up coaching. They find out that if one team scores a certain amount of goals while the other doesn't, the game will be shut out. Louise and Bob are happy to hear this at first until they realize their team is sad to be shut out, yet again. So they band together to try and help the team make it to the end of the game. Linda and Jean decide to do their piano bar at Bob's Burgers while Bob is away. Miss Merkin visits said piano bar and takes over Jean's keyboard. Birkin gets frustrated after the group gets her to play songs from the TSA musical. Turns out she is the pianist for the community theater that is currently performing said musical. But the main leading actress, who happens to be her sister, complained about her too much, so she left. After a blowout argument, the sisters make up thanks to the help from Linda, and the show goes on.
Didn't we just have a conversation recently about saying pianist?
Yeah, we did. When have you ever seen the word pianist? And it's like, oh, Bob's Burgers, that's when. What did you get for the vacant storefront?
Sleep tight mattresses. Oh, sleep tight small mattresses.
Like, I know small mattresses are needed, but like a singular store for it is not.
Yeah, not necessarily needed.
And the pest control truck.
Crimes and mouse demeanors, exterminators.
Supposed to be for crimes and misdemeanors. It's not horrible.
Yeah.
And how many burgers?
Technically two,
yes.
The wasabi with you burger.
Please don't put wasabi on my burger.
Please no.
No.
A wasabi mayo.
That might be different.
That's different.
Because it's mixed with something, so it's not as spicy.
Exactly. And so the other one, this is a better use of heirloom in a pun, because we had heirloom last week also. It was the heirloom where it happens burger. That's a much better one than last week.
And that's on the room where it happens from Hamilton, which is actually one of my favorite songs from Hamilton.
Wanna be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens.
And I like this because it appears in Linda and Jean's piano bar fantasy and during the end credits.
Yes. Remember when I told you I apologize in advance for my voice?
Yeah.
Because I went to a Broadway rave this past weekend, which was like, they didn't play as much Hamilton as I was expecting, but they played enough Hamilton.
That's fair. I can't say much. I have all of the vinyl of Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all didn't know who you were listening to until now,
we are Linda.
We are Linda. Oh, that's okay. Today, the calendar, I have this year's day calendar for Bob's Burgers. Autumn pulls it, and it's just Linda saying, all right.
All right.
And she goes over to Dad and goes, look, it's Mom.
I don't know if this will make you feel any better. The Broadway rave, that's hard to say. It was fun. Like, I had a good time. I was with a friend of mine. But it occurred to us after the fact when she pointed it out. There was a handful of people that were like our age and older, because she's, I think, 2 years older than me.
So a year older than me.
Yeah. The rest of the audience was between the ages of 18 and 22.
That's my worst nightmare.
It was a time. I think if we'd gone to one in a bigger city, it would have skewed more our own age.
Fair.
But we were near a college.
Oh, that's on you, man.
Yeah, but that was our options were Albany or New York City.
That's fair. No, I'll give you that one.
And she lives up there. Like, we picked it for a reason.
It's the smarter decision.
Yeah, but still, lots of youngins.
So the title to this one is a reference to the 2008 movie The Hurt Locker. Not that I've ever seen it.
Me neither.
The episode was written by Bob's Burgers comics writer Rachel Hastings. Hastings took inspiration from her own father coaching her youth soccer team without any prior knowledge of the sport.
Okay, then. I also know nothing about soccer.
Well, I'm pretty sure the steamroller is not a legal move in soccer. I don't think you can do that.
I don't think you can. I think the fact that there's like the cones, like the goalie's supposed to stay in the cones.
Not specifically the cones. So the box that's like, the goalie box. They pretty much have to stay within one of those squares. I think it's the one that goes a little bit further out. They can actually go a little bit further, but they're not allowed to touch the ball until it hits a certain point.
Okay.
I understand enough soccer, but still, there's so many times I am still Ted Lassoing it when my husband's like, that's offsides. And I'm sitting there like, okay, you're going to have to explain offsides again. I still don't understand offsides, man.
I'm glad one of us understands soccer, because this is bring me back to our conversation about cleat cute, where I was
Yeah.
like, I played soccer for 2 years at the ages of 5 and 6. And beyond that, my knowledge of soccer doesn't exist.
Oh, no, that's completely fair. I know enough about soccer. The only thing I really don't know enough about is the offsides rule, because it's supposed to be like there has to be so many players before you try to make a goal that have to be to a certain point. But no, but like someone has to be past you. Like it's not like you can
Yeah.
just take the ball, go, and then score. Players from the other team have to actually be near.
Yeah.
I know that. That's about as much as I can do. Watching a match, because we were supposed to go to a match actually a couple days ago, but it ended up getting canceled. So we're watching the match like at home. It ended up being an amazing. We won, by the way, 4-3.
Nice.
So we beat New York. Um,
Oh no!
oh no! It was actually.
I'm so sad.
We were actually so upset though, because like it was a really really good match. I'm texting you during it, just because I thought it was funny. I'm like, New York. Not that you care.
Not at all.
Not one bit, but you're like, I'll
No.
humor you. And
Yeah, exactly. That's what good friends do.
But we were planning on being there. We were supposed to be at that match. And then,
okay.
because a lot of matches will go like draw, like it's not rare, but like it's not very common for that many goals to get scored in a match.
Yeah.
From both sides of the team. So I was upset. But anyways. This episode contains several references to Home Movies, a show previously created by Lauren Bouchard. Bob is coaching a soccer team mirroring H. John Benjamin's character, Coach McGurk, a soccer coach, and a character who strongly resembles Melissa Robbins, called Mara, voiced Melissa Galsky, the voice of Melissa, appears. Brendan Small also has a non-speaking cameo appearance. Former Home Movies animator Damon Wong directed this episode. So Lauren Bouchard really went, I'm going to bring some people. We're going to do this. This is kind of an homage to one of my old shows. So I like this kind of, it makes me think of Once Upon a Time in Lost.
Yeah.
Like Lauren Bouchard just kind of doing the same thing. Did you see that a Sofa Queen commercial from Sacred Couch appeared on the TV before
I did.
The Supreme Extreme Champions?
I did see the Sofa Queen.
And then the Supreme Extreme Champions is a parody of American Gladiators.
Okay.
I'm sure you also saw the John Grisham novels that were Shin Guards, It's the Firm, and the Pelican Brief.
Yes, I did.
I have not read either of those. I'm good.
Neither have I.
I don't feel like I know enough about John Grisham.
Yeah, that's a case of my mother, who doesn't read fiction, will occasionally read a John Grisham novel, and I don't really know why.
I'm just like, do I really need to read another book by a white male author?
But it's also like a lot of his are like legal dramas.
Oh, I'm good. No, thank you. Oh,
I think.
I read
Which
like
is also why I
Dragon Rider fantasy war novels.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are. I mean, I'm basing this mostly off of a 30 Rock joke. I'll be quite honest. Oh, actually, I think Lana Parrilla is in what's going to be a TV series adaptation of a John Grisham novel.
Oh, you're kidding me! I'm gonna have to read one of these now.
I think.
Oh no, Lana, why?
Well, what I just looked up, the Pelican Brief, is a thriller about a young law student whose legal brief about the assassination of 2 Supreme Court justices causes her to be targeted by killers. But hang on, let me double check.
That feels more like
Lana just finished filming something. But it's a legal thriller. But I know for a fact she plays a lawyer or there's a law office involved in the new one.
Legal thriller sounds weird. I'm sorry.
Okay. So the thing that she just finished filming that I was thinking about is The Rainmaker. Yep, based on the John Grisham novel of the same name.
Oh, joy.
And let's see. Does it say?
I'm not going to be upset. Lana's getting work.
No, exactly. She's getting work. I don't know who. Based off of this Deadline article alone, I couldn't. Wait, here we go. She will be playing brash and ballsy street lawyer Jocelyn Bruiser Stone, who heads her disgraced father Jay Lyman Stone's strip mall law firm.
Oh my god. Okay, at this point, we'll just binge the audiobook real quick.
Yeah.
And then jump straight into the show, obviously. So in Linda and Jean's Imagine Piano Bar, there is a flying pianos picture where the flying burgers picture is.
Okay.
And you probably already knew this, but the song they sing is Give My Regards to Broadway from Little Johnny Jones.
Yes, I did.
Oh god, I think almost all of my notes is lines.
I counted. I have 9.
I have 9. Did we write? We probably wrote most of the same things, I will say. But please,
maybe?
I would like you to go first.
Bob's Burgers. This isn't Bob.
What was about that?
I don't know. I thought it was funny.
I love that. That spandex, that's a word. That spandex
It is.
doesn't leave much to the imagination, huh? No, there's still a little bit to imagine.
Lots of parents make their kids play sports. And for a reason, I think. Lynn, probably. Who can say?
I completely forgot it happened at all. It was during wine time.
So glad I married a man with dainty thumbs. They're beautiful, but they're useless.
Such a good line. I use that sometimes. I sometimes will reference them like they're beautiful, but they're useless. we call her twerkin' merkin.
Coach, should I live with my mom or my dad?
It takes a lady to touch a lady, but it takes a woman to touch my heart. I thought it's so fucking funny. Like,
yeah. I didn't recognize you without a piano in front of your legs.
okay, so talk to me about these quarters. How many we got? What we got? 1, 0, 3.
Their dumb CD player won't complain if they treat it like crap. I hope it skips.
That was my next one. Linda, when she goes, oh, wait. Oh, yeah, we make food.
Really? Field? What are we, farmers?
That was my last line I wrote down, too. So
I have 2 more.
So I really loved the...
I have 2 more
Oh,
lines.
my bad. My bad.
You slap stuff and people.
That's true.
And I don't know sports or math.
See,
Same.
Yeah. I mean, I know more sports about than you do, apparently.
This is true.
But I'm married to Steven.
Yeah.
I don't have to ask as many questions anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still, like I said, the offsides thing. But I really, really enjoy that Linda and Bob do the thumb war to figure out who has to do the thing in the parenting that no one wants to do. Steven and I do rock, paper, scissors.
That's where I think I put in my notes, ask, how often do you settle parenting dilemmas with the thumb war?
Daily. No, seriously, there will be so many tasks. We'll literally look at each other. Like, we were in bed yesterday, actually, and I think one of the kids needed something, and they start asking, and Steven just puts his fist out. And we start doing it, because it's 3 rounds, because you can't just take the one. It's got to be 2 out of 3. Get a good ratio. And I've been on a bit of a winning streak. It's been fun.
There you go.
But no, I think he's won a couple of times. Like, it's still a streak. I'm just winning more often than not.
Yeah.
But no, that is 100%. If we both don't want to do it, it's a rock, paper, scissors situation. There is no cheating at that, really. Yeah. I can't do a thumb war with my husband. He's 6'6".
His thumb is the size of your hand.
Exactly. Like, I really can't. At this point, I am probably just going to go take a picture of my hand on his later to send to you, just so you can see what I mean. Like, he's a big guy. I can't do that. But yeah, no, parents, I'm not the only one. We are not the only ones. We know that there are other parents out there that are doing stuff like this, because sometimes parenting really sucks. And if both parents are able but really don't want to, you got to find a nice balanced way to make sure the thing gets done.
Yeah. No, that's reasonable. As long as it's something that's like even on both sides, like rock, paper, scissors is up to chance, basically.
And like, parenting is hard, but it doesn't mean it can't be fun.
Yeah.
With the whole thing of like, when she was like, oh, so talk to me about these quarters, I was like, yeah, this is me when I first started dating my husband. And because I wasn't watching sports by myself before I met him, and then he got me into baseball and soccer, and still can't get me interested in football. Nothing is more boring to me than the NFL.
Yeah, I say football is a sport I know enough to follow it if it's on the TV. Like, that's basically it.
But I don't want to.
No, like, baseball is probably the only sport that like I know pretty well, I would say. Basketball.
Oh, I know nothing.
Really, not much. I played that the longest as a child, but that was because my best friend's dad was the coach, so I hung out with her and we carpooled.
I get bored and complain about basketball because the court's so small and the people are so tall.
The scores are so high.
And the scores are so high. And I get really confused because I'm like, this doesn't look like it's hard for anybody anymore that's playing, because they're so tall. Like, it actually looks easy for them. Like, I'm sure they're having fun and it's a sport. It is athletic. But I'm like, it looks like it's getting easier because they keep choosing people that are very, very tall. So they cross the court so quickly. Like, I've seen how fast my husband can cross the house. He's 6'6". Like, these guys are tall. And there's some of these basketball players are taller than him. Maybe just, I don't know, make it more difficult. I don't know. I don't know enough about basketball. I'll shut up.
No, it's okay. I was like, I don't know much about anything, about any sports for that matter. So
I know enough about baseball and soccer, and that is about it. And I still have to ask questions. Like, something will happen in baseball. Like, the Yankees are using some weird bat all of a sudden, and now that's like the talk of the town. I even looked at him today. I was like, "So what's this thing with the bat?" And he's like, "I don't know." And I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
cool."
I feel like for me, the way that a lot of men feel like when they explain sports to their partners,
Hmm.
what have you, I feel like that when I explain how The Bachelor works to my mother.
I would like to hear this conversation, not be a part of it, just hear it.
Yeah, well, because for the most part, because here's the thing is, we've now, because she doesn't watch The Bachelor, just
Hmm.
the last 2 seasons, she and I have watched The Golden Bachelor and Bachelorette, which is the same concept, but with people over the age of 60.
Have they done an LGBTQ
They
version?
haven't. I don't know how. I quite frankly, the closest they've gotten was they allowed for those types of relationships on Bachelor in Paradise, which is when like everybody just goes to a beach and you just kind of date amongst people at
I
a
mean, I'm
beach and
not
people
saying like
coming.
repeat Tila Tequila, but like
No, but they
don't
haven't done
repeat
like
that ever.
they haven't done like not of The Bachelor. I think there's other. I think Bachelor Australia might have, but not in the United States. But when watching the Golden Bachelor, especially the Golden Bachelorette was the second season
Hmm.
of the Golden series. And so at that point, my mom had seen a season of The Bachelor, of the Golden Bachelor, and I know and to be fair, my algorithms that I do in my brain of figuring out who's going to stay based off of how things are edited is skewed because there's less contestants. It's a shorter season than the regular Bachelor
Yeah.
because I think they start with 30 and I think they start with 20 on the Golden season. So it's like overall just generally shorter.
Well,
So
the dating pool's a little bit smaller by then, so it makes
yeah.
sense.
But yeah, so my algorithms are off. But so like but like, explaining it to her the second time around, like she's asking me questions, I'm like, you've watched this already. Like she's like, wait, so that one, so if they get this rose, I'm like, it's the same every week. If they get a rose at the date, they're safe. If they don't, then they go to the rose ceremony, and we just continue on with the explaining of the rules and the roses. And then you have a case of when she just continues to confuse the same people
Hmm.
because there were definitely cases in the first season where it's like, wait, so that's Leslie? Nope, that's Faith. Every week. She's a 50-50 shot of telling you 2 minute apart, and she always got it wrong.
Oh, I love that.
Like when she had a 50-50 shot, she was 100% incorrect. But what's fun now with the Golden Bachelor series is now they have 2 seasons to work off of, so they have a pool of men and women.
Okay.
They are now letting them also go to Bachelor in Paradise. So this season of Bachelor in Paradise will have the people in their 20s and 30s dating amongst each other, but also the people in their 60s and 70s dating amongst each
Ooh.
other.
Oh
I might
God,
actually watch it this
are
season.
you actually gonna get me to watch this now? Like this,
I'm
that's
real
intriguing.
curious.
Well, because
I'm
they're
real
also doing
curious.
there's also a polyamory show that's being made, and
Yes.
like I'm concerned with that one too. But at the same time, I'm like, do you remember Tila Tequila?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember that fever dream of a show?
I do.
It's still like ingrained in my brain. Don't look
It
it
was
up, guys. It's not a good thing.
do not
It's a
say
rabbit hole.
if saying that name does not spark a memory,
Oh, I'm not saying it a
save
third
your
time. I'm
sanity.
terrified.
Save your sanity. But yeah, that's how I feel when men talk about sports. Is me talking
Yeah.
about The Bachelor.
So something you probably would like actually more to talk about than sports is the piano bar. What did you think of the
Yes,
piano bar and the drama crowd?
I liked the piano bar because like this sometimes the best piano bar is like a small little place where you just gather around the piano and play music. And like I know we got the further context as to why Merkin doesn't want to play that music. But I was like, don't complain about playing musicals. If you literally shoved the entire piano player out of the way,
Yeah.
like I understand we have the context for why she's bitter about TSA the musical, but like, people just popping in to sit, not actually buying anything, just popping in to sing show
Not
tunes
making
in
any
Bob's
money.
Burgers. Nope, they're just having fun. Which this is like that kind of chaos that I like, where like the A plot and B plot are reliant, or the B plot especially is reliant on the A plot. You can't
Yes.
have the piano bar without Bob being forced to coach Louise's soccer game.
Because it really was Bob's not here. We can do this now. Because they were like, the next
Yeah.
time Dad leaves, we're gonna do this. And so it is
Hmm.
really cute. And I love that it's showing a son and mother doing something that's not usually seen as a son and mother thing, and it's very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Um, but it's really nice. We got like they separated a little bit differently this time
Hmm.
because we've had a good amount of Gene and his dad, and Linda and the girls. But I like that we did a
Yeah.
little switcheroo here. It was really
Hmm.
enjoyable. I enjoy this one.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. There's one more. I didn't highlight this. I'm assuming this was a line. Back to the bookstore that your legs live in.
Yeah, that was when another girl was trying to insult Louise because she
Oh,
had
okay.
books as shin guards.
Yeah, okay. I so I didn't highlight that one. That was another line that I had. But the entire episode though, I'm like, I hate the term shut outed.
Yeah, I didn't like it. That's why even in my synopsis, I'm like, shut out.
Shut out. Yeah.
It's like shut outed is not a word.
Like I appreciate from like a mercy perspective that they're
Yeah.
they're letting like after so many goals, there's no point in continuing if the
Because then
score's
it's
gonna be this
torture
high.
for the other team at that point.
Yeah, which is why like in baseball, like if the
Mm-hmm.
team that if the team at the top of the first inning, or the top of the first,
I was
at
say
the
not the
top of the
first.
not the first at the they call it the first inning, at the top of the ninth inning, if the team
Yep.
that goes first doesn't beat them, the game's over.
Yeah, because the one
There's
that's just there's no really there's not really another chance for them to score. If their chances are gone, they're not going to
no,
allow the other team to get more points and torture the other team.
exactly.
But like, I also like that rule with baseball too, though, because of course we play baseball when it's warm, which means rain.
Mm-hmm.
And if they will call a game fully. I think it has to be past the bottom of the seventh. I think Steven will probably tell me when he listens to this if I'm wrong or right. I know at my like minor league
Yeah.
that I know about. If it's like I want to say the bottom of the seventh, they'll call the game and we don't have to make up the game.
Mm.
If they call it for a rain, which is nice
Yeah.
when you have to work for,
I would say so. Towards the very end, though, I just wrote that I'm with Linda and Jean. Watching theater drama is the best drama.
It's such good drama. I haven't seen any good theater drama since, college, so I
Yeah,
would like to see some of that, please.
I miss it. I miss watching it, not being a part of it, but I miss watching
Yeah,
it.
like I don't want to be a part of it. I'm not going to go like join an acting troupe or go
Nope.
back to the box theater I used to go to just to see it. Can I see it from home, please?
That's why I go to karaoke. It's all the fun of performing without any of the drama.
Oh, that's what I need. I need like an office style show, but it's just a local theater troupe trying to put on a show. And let it be the ones from Ghosts.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can it be the Hudson Valley
Can
Players
it be
from
that? Can we
Ghosts?
please? Hi, the people that make Ghost. Can you please make us like a parody
Please.
of like The Office, but with the Hudson Valley Players? Please, please, please. How funny would that be?
It would be so good. Especially because theater groups that are theater area adjacent, like
Mhm.
New York City, they think so highly of themselves.
Oh, really?
Like it's a little like satire, the kind of the way they were in Ghost, but like not by a whole lot. Coming as someone who is in like the theater group at a school that has a large theater department that was made by theater majors because they didn't get in any of the shows.
Ooh,
Like when you're theater adjacent, you tend to think very highly of yourself.
that's interesting.
It's funny.
So, what did you rate this one?
It got 9s for plot and character. This was
Okay.
a lot of fun to watch. Really, really good. I got an 8 for personal. I can't entirely quantify why. That just felt like the right number. Like I enjoyed it a lot, but it's not like a perfect episode. So it gets a 26, which is a fantastic score.
We did it again, but not exactly.
Okay,
So I
so
gave
same numbers, different configuration.
yes. I gave plot and character personal. I agree on the plot. Like the plot 8 feels good, but like personal 8
Say
just seems right.
You said I gave plot and character personal.
No.
What number did you give
Plot
them?
personal 8. I don't have brain cells. Okay. I gave plot and personal 8.
Gotcha.
Did I say the wrong words? I did.
Yes, you did.
Look, guys, I have 2 kids.
You said I gave plot and character personal, but it's not a score.
I'm leaving this in at this point. It's happened. Y'all all know who I am.
Yeah.
But no, plot and personal, I gave 8s. I agree with you that 8 just makes sense for that number.
Yeah.
But I gave character 10 because once again, every character is doing exactly as they should.
Yeah.
Every single one. And when the characters now, and that I say that as someone who like the characters can be like completely themselves in the episode
Yeah.
and still just annoy like Jimmy Jr. There's some odd reason when Jimmy Jr.'s on the screen. And if he does like the really bad stuff, yeah, that's gonna go
just
down.
want to punch him.
But being the normal Jimmy Jr. level, I don't feel that as strongly.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So now we have episode 13, Cheer Up Sleepy Jean. Jean and his new friend Alex try their best to survive gym class, leading to Alex inviting Jean over for a sleepover. Jean reluctantly says yes since he is the last kid in his grade to attend one. Alex's parents are very different from Jean's and are trying to eat healthier and don't eat sugar. After the two are tucked in, Alex has Jean sneak out with him so they can run away. He takes Jean to a shoddy tent in the woods for them to live, and Alex starts downing sugar packets. Jean takes them to his house after the trash bag tent collapses in the rain. He convinces Alex he should go home, and Louise and Tina help them get back into the house quietly. They sneak back to Alex's room like nothing happened while his mom eats ice cream in the kitchen. Meanwhile, Linda and Bob are in a feud over who is waking whom with their snoring through the night. They make a bet that whoever snores the most will have to wear a bite guard and set up a recorder for bedtime. They quickly find out they both have a snoring problem and decide to embrace it. And what did you get for the vacant storefront?
Drastic measures, extra long tape measures.
I like this one, and I can't
That
help
was a
it.
good one.
And the pest control truck.
Rat here, rat now, pest control.
That's supposed to be the phrase right here, right now. That one's not as good, but I really, really like, because like they even have the little tape measure is their open sign, which is really cute. And burgers of the day.
Yes, I have one.
There is only one, but that is your magic little amount that you seem to love.
It is my 3 per episode. My three per podcast. It was the Judy garlic burger. It comes with garlic tapenade.
And of course, that's for Judy Garland.
Yes, it is.
Which I can't complain. I like Judy Garland.
Yeah.
So the title is a reference to the line "Cheer Up, Sleepy Jean" from the 1967 The Monkees hit "Daydream Believer." This is our first appearance of Alex Papazian.
Okay. Oh, wait, we're gonna see him again?
Yes, he's Jean's friend, so
okay.
You'll see him from now on. But this is really the first time. I guess they finally went, we should give Jean a friend who's not a possibly, but not exactly fictional albino man.
Yeah, because he doesn't really have like any like core friends we see him with. Like, I mean, to be fair, neither do either of the other two.
Well,
but they have core people that keep coming back.
Yes, Louise has her Millie situation.
Yeah.
Tina's got Tammy, Jocelyn, Zeke, Jimmy Jr., which I feel makes sense with how they do this show, is because I am a middle child and you always kind of end up hanging out with your siblings, like your oldest siblings, like because they're always around. They're older. They're allowed to do more. And so, because then, of course, Louise does also deal with the twins, but that's not exactly like Louise tends to have people she uses.
Yeah, it's like she's got regular size Rudy.
Yeah, I think Rudy, I would say regular size Rudy is the only one that's truly her friend.
Yeah,
she uses the twins, but I think regular size Rudy truly is her friend. Jean, up until now, hasn't really had a friend. I mean, we had a whole storyline of him befriending a toilet. The boy needed a friend.
Yeah.
The Silicon Valley star Thomas Middleditch. Sorry. When you see a word and you're like, let me wait. It doesn't make any sense. Silicon Valley star Thomas Middleditch voices Alex Papazian, the new episode of Silicon Valley that premiered over on HBO on the same night as this episode featured a guest appearance from Bob's Burgers main cast member, Dan Mintz. Okay, so on the same night, they just swapped.
It was a crossover.
It's a crossover, almost. Instead of the usual written by credit, Holly Schlesinger is credited for teleplay by and is co-credited for story by with H. John Benjamin. And Tina compares Jean's sleepover experience to her second, fourth, and fifth kisses. She is referring to her kiss with Josh in L'Independent Woman and both her kisses with Jordan Kagan in The Landship. Out of these 5, they're the only ones that weren't Jimmy Pesto Jr.
Gotcha.
So now we know. We just need Josh back. Can we have Josh back? If not Josh, then Zeke. Like, those are my top 2 choices for Tina. Yeah. I say as a 13-year-old, like the character is a 13-year-old that's dating. Like, out of the pool. I'm not shipping characters.
Every time. Yeah, we say this every time. We think that would be a good trajectory for the character to have a middle school appropriate relationship.
And I have 10 lines.
I have 4.
Oh, God, I liked this more than you did, apparently.
Yeah, you did.
It's fair. It all feels very healthy, very normal.
Well, it was a good day. Then it was this.
Alex, oh my God, you walk fast for someone who's horrible at running.
No thanks, I'm more of a wet food guy.
Tina, Louise, it's late. You two need to go to bed. Well, we can't. We're helping you guys record yourselves sleeping, just like every kid in every family does.
Didn't you see Cabin in the Woods? No, me neither, but the music in the ads was terrifying.
Okay, but Cabin in the Woods is an amazing movie.
Such a good movie.
Like, okay, I love that movie. I thought all adults snored. It's just the sound of them dying. Maybe, let nature take its course, right?
My disgusting white noise.
They're in their angry rhino phase.
All right, I'm out of
I've got
I'm out
quite
of
a few
lines. It's all
more,
you. Can
but I
continue.
promise they're I think they're funny.
We had me in the last episode reciting entire scenes. You're fine.
Yeah, we're good. See, this is why we have sleepovers. I'm never coming back here. No clear winner, huh? Nope. But definitely two clear losers. This one, I don't know why I like this one so much. It was bad, then really bad, then wet, then suspenseful, and then it was over. Does anyone?
That sounds like something.
I know, right?
Probably why they wrote it.
Does anyone else feel like a third wheel? A little bit. Let's throw stuff at them. I love that that's the answer. Also, 4 ounces of ice cream a month is insane.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. There's ways of helping your child eat healthier that isn't extreme restriction.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. We've had discussions on that before.
Yes.
Because I've, of course, talked about my own
Mm-hmm.
practice with that because I have children. Because if you suddenly had children, I'd be concerned, actually.
Yeah, no, we don't have this conversation about me. But also, to be fair, I am now at a point where I moved into my own apartment. The food is entirely the stuff that I buy, and it's a case of like I have to not relearn, because I learned things as an adult, but I didn't do a great job of learning these things like when I was in college the first time around. Of like I need to buy things that have nutrients in them, and I have to prepare meals that have vegetables, which isn't necessarily my go-to, but I try to make it happen.
Becoming an adult and having to tell yourself, no, we have food at home is also so hard.
It's so hard because there are days where I can do this whenever I want.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I really but I can, but I shouldn't.
There's so many days where I'm just like, I really, really don't feel like cooking and cleaning and doing all the work that's with it. And then I sit there and I'm like, we have food here. I need to eat it so it doesn't go bad and I waste and spend more money.
The thing that hurts me is when I jokingly say, when it's illegal to cook the food you buy the day you buy it. But like yesterday I was like, I have to cook the food that I bought because I ate out for lunch. I can't do that twice.
Oh, we literally got lunch today while we were running our errands. We actually had time to. I go back to work tomorrow, so we're like, let's go. We'll just go grab some food. But we went to a Mexican restaurant. And I just lean over towards Steve and I was like, I guess I'm not making those burrito bowls tonight. It's hard to have Mexican twice in one day.
Yeah, it's a lot of rice.
It's a lot of rice. But yeah, what did you? Okay, so I want to start with the maxi pad thing is weird.
Yes, the maxi pad thing was very weird.
Very, very weird.
Like Jean is like I understand, especially it's perfectly normal to be upset and scared for your first sleepover because you don't know what to expect, and obviously I feel like nowadays it's for parents that pay attention, sleepovers don't happen as often as like when we were kids and stuff like that. But it's sorry, I rearranged my recording setup to accommodate my chair because I hurt myself. That's a great soundbite.
Right?
I injured myself. Normally I stand while we record these. But there's a limit to I do understand the being attached to your nighttime routine, and the way that Tina was describing the sleepover probably isn't, especially with the weird toothpaste. Probably isn't helping. I found it very funny though that I watched this last Friday, so that night I did stay at a friend's house.
Oh, I love that.
But like I brought my own toothpaste. Because
I always bring my own toothpaste.
Yeah, because like I have my toiletries bag that I take whether I'm going on vacation or going to somebody's house, whatever. Like I have my stuff, but it's like I understand from that perspective. Sleepovers are scary. This was in fact the sleepover from hell.
Yes,
especially for Jean. But I kept writing, like, this is why the first time you hang out with a new friend is in public.
Yes. Like, just keep hanging out at school. Don't go straight over to us. Because, like, it is a weird household. Other households are always going to be different, run different, and everything. Like, I think, which is funny because, like, we have my daughter's best friend. We're close with her parents. So, like, sleepovers are not an issue for us because
that's different.
We are constantly helping each other. Like, we're already planning out the next, like, while I'm working for the season, we're already planning out childcare, who's helping who, where can I help you, where can you help me? Because they work for a farm, and so they have a lot of events when it's warm outside.
Yeah.
And they run petting zoos and stuff. So for them, it's like, can you take my kid? Because I got to leave really early. It's like, so like we trade off on childcare. That's part of it. Because it takes a fucking village. Where was I going with this? But of course, our households run a little bit differently.
Yeah.
They do, just because that's life.
Mhm.
But I can guarantee you, almost every time we find out, this kid is so ingrained in our life. She is like a bonus child. I love her to death. Already know I
Mhm.
talk about her enough.
Yeah.
But it's still like clockwork. I'll be like, all right, we're getting the bonus kid. And Steven just goes, okay, I'm ordering pizza. Like, that is the answer to having
Yeah.
an extra kid in the house.
Yeah, it's looks like I wrote down, like, maybe don't trust the kid who asked you for a sleepover instantly. Like a first date, go in public first.
Yeah, go in public first.
Like,
Because I'm never gonna get over the 4 ounces of ice cream. I'm like
no.
everything in moderation. The
Also,
documentary was also just like, what the hell, man?
yeah, and like this, the salmon is the dinner. There's some things, like you said, like, no, the kid is coming over. Okay, we get the pizza. Like, yes,
Mhm.
there's an element of this is what I planned on serving tonight, but there's also a case of, I don't know, try and make something slightly more kid friendly, neutral
Yeah.
ish. Like, I'm very fortunate that the friend that I spent a lot of time at their house knew about my dietary restrictions.
Mhm.
So, like, when I did stay over for dinner, like, they always had stuff that I could eat that wouldn't bother me, which is, I
Yeah.
to this day appreciate.
I just got happy going to friend's house and seeing all the snacks
Mhm.
that we couldn't afford growing up.
Mhm.
To the point I had a friend for a while, when I had to live with my parents again, that would store snacks that I really loved at their house. So
Ah.
every time I visited, I'd be like, "All right, I'm gonna get a Star Crunch." Like, they
Well,
fed me.
that one friend, it got to a point, like, when we were hanging out there, like, as, like, adult not like adults, but we were hanging, I mean, maybe we were, I don't remember how old we
Yeah.
were, but it was a bunch of us were over, and she asked anybody want anything to drink or whatever, and a couple of friends, they said this, whatever. I said, "Okay," and I went to go get it, and they went, "Wait, what?" I'm like, "I live here. I basically live here.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, you wanted water and a thing of potato chips. I know where to get it."
Oh, yeah, that's this is our friend, like, my daughter's friend now. She's been spending the night with us almost at least once every month, longer in the summer months,
Mhm.
obviously, for 2 years now. She's part of the family to the
Yeah.
point we have a chalk wall that we keep our family score sheet on, so
Mhm.
it's got all our names and just tally marks. When we made it, like, when I designated that for that use, her name went on there. Like,
Mhm.
that's how much this
Oh,
kid is at my house.
yeah.
And so, like, and we always try to make it fun for them because it's like they're getting to hang out, school's not in session, like, to the point they will move mattresses into the living room floor and set up their own, like, home theater setup
There you go.
for them to, like, sleep and watch movies, and it's
Nice.
really sweet. So, like, sleepovers are meant to be fun. If you're a parent
Yeah.
that allows your child to do that from time to time, I don't actually recommend it. Like I said, we got to know the child's parents very well. We banded together to survive Helene after it happened and worked together as two families in one to survive through that because we didn't even have cell service most of the time through
Yeah.
that, let alone any other service you can imagine out here with blocked roads. So,
Mhm.
like, it takes a village, and at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. So, but we have that relationship, and
Yeah, I would say in
sleepovers can be weird now, though. Like, you've got to make sure, like, that was my stipulation. I have to meet your parent. You're not spending the night somewhere
yeah.
unless I have met this parent and know how their household runs to an extent.
Yeah, like today's day and age, you really it can't
Hmm.
just be, oh, this person invited me over, I'm gonna go over kind of situation. Like, that's you it's different than it used to be.
It's very, very different than it used to be. I mean, I used to go to all kinds of friends' houses, and my parents probably didn't even think twice of whose house I was going to.
Yeah, one of the friends that I used to have sleepovers with occasionally, they literally lived in the middle of a state park.
I would love
But, like,
that.
talk about, like, remote, like, this is I didn't start staying over there until I had a cell phone, but cell service really didn't work.
Oh, I would love I'm sorry,
But,
I'm
like, from a
thinking of just
safe
being in the middle of a national
but
forest.
I'm
That's,
like,
like,
from a
all my brain's
safety
at.
perspective.
Safety perspective, horrible. Please take me there now. I wanna be in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So, I really love the B-plot of this, of
Yeah.
just because it all works because it's all surrounding bedtime.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's all connected.
But I love Linda and Bob going back and forth and just, like, living with who they are
Mhm.
as a couple, and it's just a really sweet thing. Like,
They
it's sweet in
definitely
the end.
needed a better method of figuring out who was the one snoring, though.
They did, but I'm just glad they didn't go with letting Teddy stare at them while they slept.
Yeah, that's always the better option, is don't involve Teddy in your bedroom.
We also got random more Teddy lore that surrounds his ex-wife
Yeah.
again, as we tend to.
Yeah. I Teddy lore, especially around the ex-wife, I'm like, I think I tuned it out, I'll be honest.
Yeah, at that point, you really have to because does it so often.
Yeah.
So what did you think?
Yeah. I the entire time I was like, Gene, you were smart for being afraid of this situation, because it's like the sleepover just kind of gets worse and worse and worse, and the kid, like, he invited him over so they could run away. I'm like, this is feeling a little Bridge to Terabithia-y,
Oh.
and
Why?
I don't like it.
Oh. I'm not the only one that read that book and it destroyed me as a child, but when the
No.
movie came out, got so excited.
It's so much worse.
And watched it, and I have not watched that movie since that day.
It destroys you.
Because that came out when we were children.
Yeah.
So, like, I remember reading the book, and the book made me cry, and I got so excited for the movie, though. And you know what? Maybe childhood me was like, ooh, Josh Hutcherson already? And that's, I have no regrets.
Yeah, because the movie came out in 2007.
Fuck me.
So, yeah, so we were...
I was in middle school.
So, like, 12 and 13.
Yeah, 12 and 13. Well, then.
Yeah.
Now I've really, truly ruined my life's ruined now. Oh my God. Bridge to Terabithia ruined my life, okay?
We were tiny, but Bailey Madison was the little sister in that.
She was.
She was so tiny. Ugh. This is what I say when in going back like 2 years, my joke of, that's literally the title of an episode of, did you know that Bailey Madison is just Jennifer Goodwin in a time machine? You look at like old baby pictures that Jennifer Goodwin has posted on Instagram, compare that to Bailey in Bridge to Terabithia, same person.
Oh my goodness.
They're nearly identical.
That's insane.
It's nuts.
Is there anything else you feel you want to say about this episode, or you're just like, it was all right?
It wasn't my favorite. And the entire time I'm just like, this is like, it wasn't my favorite. I think Gene was making the smart choices once he figured out what was going on.
Yeah.
Because I think at the beginning he was a little preoccupied with being afraid of his impending sleepover, and he had every right to be. But towards the end, I'm just like, okay.
It was an episode.
It was an episode. That's a good way to put it.
Did you at least feel some anger when they find the mom eating ice cream?
Yes, but
in the middle of the night,
it was a little anger, but also I'm like, yep, that's what I expect out of someone who knows that restrictive diets don't work.
They don't. Everything in moderation.
Exactly. So midnight eating is not a way to go.
You know, sometimes that edible just hits. Okay.
Sometimes, and that's why I have Oreos.
that is the top tier high snack. It truly is. Because Oreo also really went, we're going to make all of our cookies vegan and delicious, and you cannot mock a Oreo. Like, store-bought Oreos don't work.
I'm going to have some Oreos with some milk later.
Ooh. Steven? What did you rate this one?
I gave plot and character both 7s, because again, it was about what I expect once I kind of got my head around what was happening, but still, like, it's fine. I'm not like, oh, I hate this. It's not like episodes that are very, very Teddy heavy. It's like, it was fine. And it got an 8 for personal, so it's a 22.
Okay, that's not bad.
It's a reasonable score.
I gave plot 8. I like the plot. It's not horrible. I like seeing that Gene, like, figures things out and helps his friend, but also, figures, like, doesn't get them all in trouble.
Yeah. I
really love Bob and Linda's storyline. I just do because I'm married.
No, that's fair.
Character I gave 7.
Okay.
Because, like, Alex's family kind of pissed me off.
Yeah.
And then personal 9, because I do really enjoy this episode, but, like, still, there's that little 9 feels right, so it's a 24 for me.
Okay. So not too far off. I can only speak for myself and my family. Like, when I had friends over, like, my parents didn't make us hang out with them.
Mm-hmm. No, my parents, we don't do that either. The kids are usually up our butts going, we all do something with us.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good thing, that the kids are like, we want to spend time with you. We'll play Jackbox games, board games. Sometimes we play like Mario Kart or something. Like, we do stuff with the kids. I think we've talked before some about how me growing up in my area, because I know every area is different, like, we were just pretty much told to hang out in our rooms. We didn't get to hang out in the living room a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of people our age who have children are now raising living room children. Like, it's an actual thing, because so many of us were like, no, go to your room, leave us alone. So, like, it's very interesting to see, because, like, the kids actually want to spend time with you.
Yeah.
And just do it. They go to sleep eventually.
Yeah, at some point. And I said, not to keep comparing you with children with me living on my own.
No.
But, like,
we'll just get you a cat and we'll get back to
fine, yeah.
normal life.
Yeah. But like I've intentionally set up my space that for the most part, with the exception of I'm recording in my bedroom closet because that's the space that makes the most sense. But like besides that, I've intentionally
Naturally.
I naturally as one does. I'm recording gay shit in my closet. It's great. But trust me, every single person I've mentioned this to pointed out that irony. But
That's the title.
I've intentionally set up my space that I spend most of my time not in my bedroom because I've got. I mean, I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, but I've basically made my main living space where I spend most of my time because it's more space, it's more freeing, it's more air. But like that way, my bedroom can be a place to relax and do nothing else, and also record gay shit in my closet. But besides that, it can just be a place where I rest my
Yeah.
head and relax, and I
You
can
have your
also
own space
relax.
now because you lived with your parents for as
Yeah,
long
and
as you
like I
did.
can still relax in my living room, but like I can do other things in there. And it's not I'm not relegated to one space anymore, and that was the intention
It's
with the
all
space.
yours.
It's all mine. I pay all the rent. There was a comedian that was like, "Ever just stand in a random corner of your apartment because like right here, this is like $1 worth of space right here."
Oh, yeah, I love the whole thing of, like, because we have a mortgage, and it's always like, "Well, why don't you ever leave? Why don't you ever do anything?" And I'm like, "I'm getting my money's worth."
Yeah, right.
Like, mortgages are not like, it's still expensive. I'm gonna get my money's worth, and, like, I guess I'll just need to walk my property every day now
hmm
to really feel like, let me get the feel
Well, like
of my space.
sitting in this closet for 3 hours, easily like $50 worth of time.
There you go, see? Like, you're getting your money's worth.
Yeah. Thank you all for listening. Join us next time when we discuss Once Upon a Time, episode 411, Heroes and Villains. Don't forget to like, rate, and follow the podcast wherever you listen so you can be notified every time we publish a new episode. Follow us at OBDYK_pod on Instagram and Blue Sky. And if you'd like to join our Patreon, you can find the link with more details in our show notes.
This has been an episode of Okay, But Did You Know? A TV and media podcast. It was hosted by Katie and Lauren and edited by Katie.